everybody to talk about trace crossings and the flooding issue.
I think maybe I should cancel the lack of quorum. Oh, me and Dr. Middleton. All right, we're going to call the July 17th meeting of the Hoover City Council to order, and ask for it to call the roll.
Mr. Green? Mr. Lyda?
Here.
Dr. Middlebrooks?
Here.
Mr. Murphy?
Here.
Mr. Posey?
Here.
Mr. Shaw?
Here.
Mr. Smith?
Here. If the clerk would give the invocation and Mr. Posey the pledge.
Let us pray. Lord, thank you for the blessings of this day. Be with us this week in all that we do. Give us wisdom and guidance in our daily decisions, that we may live out the life that you have planned for us. Help us to be grateful for today, hopeful for tomorrow, and joyful always. We pray for those who are grieving, especially Craig Moss and his family on the death of his father. We pray for the sick in our community, especially Robert Yeager. In your name we pray. Amen.
Salute and pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All members should have received copies of the July 3rd meeting and July 13th work session. If so, I'm open for a motion.
Mr. President, I move for approval of the minutes without reading.
Second. Have a motion, second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nays. The ayes have it. Next, we have the report section. We have Dr. Foster, President and CEO of Birmingham Zoo.
Thank you for the opportunity to come and talk.
Come down to the microphone and everybody gets to hear, as well as all those at home. Wave, because you're on.
Good evening. I'm Bill Foster. I'm the director of your zoo here locally. And it's my opportunity to come and say thank you for all that you support over the years. I have a few things I'd like to share with you where we are and what we're doing. I assume that you'll continue to participate in the zoo. In the same sense is that many of the residents here in Hoover are coming to the zoo, and I'd like to share that with you and some exciting news that is about to invade your zoo. As you see here, we've had a wonderful year. We are now one of the largest not-for-profit facilities in the state. We're now seeing over 650,000 visitors in our community. That is about 20% of our members come from the Hoover district. So we're very thankful for the people who visit us and those that come to town, and we hope to continue that kind of support and meet the expectation of all those visitors. Right now, I think this goes on, but it's told. There's a lot of things that are going on. We're part of a group of the top accredited facilities around the country. To put that in context, there's about 2,600 facilities that are licensed. We're only a very small group, about 232 zoos and aquariums, major aquariums that you recognize, the Georgia Aquarium, Disney, and San Diego. We're part of that esteemed group of only 8% of those facilities that have gone through the extra effort to be quality facilities, but not only educational, conservation, and welfare of the animals. One of our missions is to inspire the passion for the natural world through our program of conservation and education. And one of the things that my staff, I'm very proud of, is that they're willing and often ready to help anybody in taking care of the wildlife in our state. Most recently there's been 3 cases of black bear who are visiting. Hopefully they're not staying, they're not visiting, they're moving on. And they're ending up following the waterways, mostly the Hoover River and the Warrior River. And with law enforcement, provide that kind of assurances that that animal are cared for, they're not necessarily unduly harmed, and they're given the wide berth that they deserve.
There is a pit on some family property up in Cherokee County.
Okay, okay. He's staying there a long time? Okay. Let's be quiet, let's not tell anybody. Part of the four legs to our table is conservation, education, research, and just recreation. All those people who are coming to our facility on an annual basis. And to do that, we have a lot of the residents in our community. Some of our counselors' children have worked and volunteered for us, and from teenagers. And we're most impressed that we've had some of our go on to some of those early volunteers have gone on and actually have enabled their careers to be changed into the fact that some of them are actually doing PhDs. And we're continuing to support that work all around the world. So we have recently started upon a very ambitious building campaign. We've just finished or nearing to finish our capital campaign, and of investment of over $18,600,000. Of that, you'll see the new event lawn, which is phase one, that is finished. We're opening it very soon, so that people can come and use the zoo in a way that may create additional value for people who may not see the value of coming to the zoo, but it's a very family-friendly organization, and we're doing that as we speak. The second one will be the front entrance. It was very dated, but we've involved ourselves over the last, since privatization, since '99, in creating a whole new facilities, upgrading all the exhibits for the animals, the habitats, and one of the ones that we opened this year was for Khan, which is our new jaguar exhibit. He's a 3-year-old, young male that has come to Birmingham from Jacksonville, and we have some future mating that will be coming in from, I think, where is that, Chris? Tulsa, Oklahoma, all the way to Birmingham. Here's our front entrance that were built. The last one was a bit of a dated one that some called a double wide trailer. We got rid of that, and now we have a brand new iconic kind of opening. It's a 2-story facility that will have both retail and community areas in which to use the zoo almost 24 hours a day. On the inside of the facility is a new entrance that will allow us to entertain people during the regular hours, after hours, and overnight. This is our plaza, Hugh Plaza, and that is in bid, and it is to be built over the next 12 months. On the south side here was phase one. That's the event lawn that is going in as we speak, opening as we speak. Okay. The third phase that was over here was an Asian passage, and that will take all of the Asian animals that we have and group them in appropriate contemporary facilities. That would be everything from the orangutan, we have 3 of them, all the way to our Moto dragons and our tigers. All of them will be in a brand new facility opening probably in 2018. This is our habitat. We're working in literally not only here in Birmingham with conservation and learning about these particular animals, but also in the field. We have a program working with that young PhD candidate who's working in Belize right now in the human-animal conflicts and making mitigations so that both can prosper within that environment. Go on. This summer we were invaded by pirates. Some people say, why? My point last year when we were thinking of this why was that we were under a drought. And at the time when pirates came, we thought the pirates could come and invade us and find out where all their water went. Well, we found out it's everywhere now. But the pirates were a fun way of causing some education in a fun way and upgrading our training experience. So stay tuned, the pirates will be about. Our PICA, this is one of the things that we invest in our staff. They are actually traveling the world representing our region in order to follow their passion for conservation and a particular species. We've had over 36 of these experiences for our staff. They've gone everywhere from Namibia to Borneo to the shores of the Gulf, and working on projects that make a difference and an impact within our lives and our children's lives. So what we're asking is how you can support. You can be a supporter since, I think, 2006. I don't assume anything. I hope you'll continue that support, but also come and visit. It's your facility, it's a regional asset, and I hope that you'll enjoy it as much as we enjoy providing it. So, thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone have any questions?
Mr. President, I do.
Yes.
Dr. Foster,
Yes, sir.
first I'd like to say I love the zoo. Thank you very much. Should particularly enjoy the interactive areas such as feeding the giraffe, and my favorite is the parakeet section. My boys love the train. Right now I have a son, he's in a wheelchair. At this age, I'm able to get him out of the chair and hold him in my lap while we ride the train. Do the trains currently have a adaptive car where you can pull a wheelchair up and strap it in?
We have 2 trains, and both are adapted to do so. All of our rides, from the carousel to the trains, all have that capability. We're universally accessible.
Great. Thank you.
Next question.
Anything else? Dr. Foster, we appreciate you being here and showing us how things are building out. And, I believe Hoover has been a good partner historically, and I don't see any reason why not think so going forward.
Thank you very much. I'd like to leave you with one thought. I think that there should be, let me offer up a Hoover Day. That's Birmingham Zoo someday. So thank you very much for your time and attention.
Mayor, maybe something that might put together.
Love to see you all there.
Thank you. All right, next we have item 6, resolution 5603-17, budget amendment to the current fiscal budget. Open for a motion.
Mr. President, I move for approval of resolution 560317.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Dr. Lopez. There you go. If you could please go over requested adjustments. I would appreciate it. I wasn't here Thursday night.
Certainly. I'm just going to go straight down the list of the exhibit. Item 1 is the one-time lump sum payment for the RSA retirees. You'll see a subsequent resolution related to that for $150,000. Item 2 is related to some additional fire department turnout gear. Item 3, replace 6 SCBAs for a hazmat unit and 20 air cylinders. Item 4, we're going to rearrange some existing funds for a hazmat unit and put it toward replacing a heavy rescue unit. Item 5 covers additional expenses related to the SEC baseball tournament. Item 6 is related to a pipe replacement project at Laurel Lane and Laurel View Lane. Item 7 covers some software fees related to a subsequent ordinance on the agenda due to some recent changes in state legislation on how interest is calculated. Item 8 is kind of a cleanup item for the library. They have, out of all their part-time positions, they have one that's 9.5 hours per week. This will make it 19 hours a week, which will facilitate their ability for training and coverage and so forth on the front desk.
Dr. Lopez, I don't know if you or Ms. Cobal is here tonight. Maybe you could explain some of the additional funds needed for the SEC tournament. Probably more interested in that $91,000 figure.
I can tell you it's related to rental and security
So that's
for the event.
the event staff, it was required, not overtime for the police department.
Yeah, not overtime, but it's related to outside security.
And Any other questions from the council?
Can you, speak on the heavy rescue unit? What will it provide services for?
I will let Mr. Rice handle that.
Thank you. Mr. President, I'll back up to your question, Dr. Middlebrooks, if that's okay. With the advent of the Fan Fest at the Finley Center, that brought about additional staffing needs and also just the amenities of the Fan Fest itself. And we've specifically revisited security because the SEC required magnetometers, metal detectors this year at every entrance. And that, of course, included the Finley Center, so that added staff over and above what we normally would have had. We've gone back and had a discussion with them because of their clear bag policy and some other things that are in place. We're going to include the police department in that as well. We may be able to see a reduction in some of those costs next year, but this is to help us with what we had to realize this year.
Thank you.
Dr. Middlebrooks, or to Dr. Middlebrooks' question, the fire department came forward with requests in the current budget to replace an aerial ladder truck that had not expended its usable life, but it exceeded the lifespan for a frontline piece of apparatus. They worked with us. We were able to replace that at a reduced cost from the original estimate. I think it was $1.2 million, and we were able to obtain a unit for 940 approximately, in my ballpark. 975. So there were residual funds from that. They also had articulated a separate need to replace the hazardous materials unit. And they use a vehicle down there that was actually donated to the city back in 86, 88. It's actually a bread truck that was donated by a local company. I think we've gotten everything we're going to get out of that vehicle in terms of emergency response. So they were trying to be very budget conscious, and what they contemplated was going out and finding a used piece of equipment much newer than what we have. Because it's not an incredibly high volume unit, but when you need it, you've got to have it. So we thought that was very reasonable and responsible, but in the meantime, while we were working on the ladder truck purchase, they went back to the drawing board, the fire department did, and they came forward with an even better iteration. And that is to take the existing heavy rescue unit that's housed here on Municipal Drive, take that truck, move it down to the hazardous materials unit where it will be used less often, and actually replace the heavy rescue unit, which responds much more frequently. We really like this plan. It still, in essence, dedicates a used vehicle to hazardous materials response, but it's our used vehicle. We've done all the maintenance on it. We have all the records, and we're not assuming somebody else's potential liability. So does that help? We're shuffling trucks around, and we're avoiding having to bring an outside used vehicle into our fleet and all the concerns that come with that.
It does, it helps. Can you just speak on what a heavy rescue unit does?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's staffed by our ladder truck crew, so it doesn't have a crew of its own, but it houses very technical, specific equipment for things like building collapse, water rescue, extrication of crash victims from wrecked vehicles, all manner of rescues which are above and beyond just a typical medical call. We're very, very fortunate in the city to have a large number of our personnel trained and state certified to the level of expertise that it requires to undertake those activities. But the heavy rescue unit is the unit that houses all that equipment. Those are things that cannot be placed on the regular fire trucks or regular ambulances. So they have to reside on this particular vehicle for use when needed. Thank you.
Mr. Rice, knowing the history on the current heavy rescue unit, it was purchased with federal funds, correct?
It was I think it was a no match grant. I think it was 100% grant to the city back in the post 9/11 era. So I don't think we paid a dime for that vehicle.
Are there any responsibilities to the feds for transferring it from its paid-for use to what we're going to use it for?
No, sir. Our contract actually was with Alabama Emergency Management Agency. It was federal money, but it was passed through the conduit of the state EMA, and there was no specification for disposal.
Just want to make sure there weren't any strings that we need to address.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions from the council? Any from the audience? We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Moving on to item 7, resolution 5604-17, dealing with police uniforms and accessories. Yes, before we have have any discussion, I'm open to a motion.
Mr. President, we had some discussion about this Thursday night at the work session. I know you couldn't be with us, but I want to move that this item be continued to the call of the chair.
Second.
Obviously, there must be some questions that need a few answers. I would hope that we can get this taken care of by the next council meeting. Any other questions or comments? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Item number 8, resolution 5605-17, Mr. Corley.
This resolution authorizes Mayor Frank Mercado, Margie Hinman, Linda Lopez, and Robert Yeager to execute signature cards with First National Bankers Bank for the Hoover investment account.
Mr. President, I move for approval of resolution 5605-17.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions from the council? This is the account that houses investment funds. Correct. That's correct. Very good. Any questions from the council? Any from the audience? Seeing, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Item 10, resolution 5607-17, Mr. Corley.
Resolution 5606-17 authorizes a one-time lump sum payment to certain qualifying retirees in accordance with the Act number 2017-367 passed by the Alabama legislature. The city of Hoover elects to come under the provisions of the Act and agrees to provide all funds necessary to the employees' retirement system to cover the cost of the one-time lump sum payment for eligible retirees. The lump sum payment shall be paid in October 2017.
And that is item 9, resolution 5606-17. I refer to the wrong resolution. Open for motion.
President, I move for approval of resolution 5606-17.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Dr. Lopez, is my understanding, I was in the Senate. They passed this particular bill, and I believe it gives $2 per month for every year of service to retirees.
That's correct, to a maximum of $300.
Is there a cutoff as to how long a person needs to be retired before they can receive this?
They had to retire prior to May 1st, 2017. So that's the cutoff. That answer your question?
It does. I have a question for the attorneys that I should have asked earlier. I did not put in 25 years, but I am drawing my city retirement now that I'm 60. I had 17 and a half years. Should I abstain from this vote? I don't think I have any money coming, but just to be clear.
If it would affect you, then yes.
I think it may. So, for this purpose of conducting this, Mr. Green is not here, so I'm gonna pass the gavel to, Mr. Leiter to conclude this item.
Any questions from the council on this item? Any questions from the audience? Hearing none, with a motion and second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it. Smith?
Thank you, sir. Is it that exciting?
Yeah, not really.
Now we'll do item 10, resolution 5607-17.
This resolution authorizes the mayor or his designee to execute a court referral officer contract with the administrative director of courts, judicial branch, state of Alabama, on behalf of the city of Hoover.
Mr. President, I move for approval of resolution 5606-17.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions from the council? 5607.
Yes, thank you, sorry about that. Approval of resolution 5607-17.
Second. Gavel has something to mess with your mind. Any questions from the council? Ms. Fuquay, do you have anything you'd like to say? Since the majority of the public, including myself, are not here on Thursday, this is the normal annual action. Unless you want to send it in. Aye.
No, sir. Everything is fine, no, I appreciate it. This is our annual, CRO contract from Administrative Office Support, so this is for, drug testing. We get that from
Drug testing only.
Is for, basically for our evaluations and monitoring, that we basically send 100% of it goes to the state, and then in return, we get 85% back, they keep 15% just to help supplement the court referral, operations of the program, and we are audited every year. I would like to make one statement that we are audited. It's basically like a report card that we have to have every year over there. And we have never scored below 95 on our report card, and there's never been anybody else higher in the state as far as scoring, and that's on auditing. So City of Hoover is very fortunate to have own employees here as court referral officers. There's only 2 other cities in the state of Alabama out of 279 municipal courts, and that is Birmingham and Huntsville. So we are very fortunate to be able to have court referral over here.
Your brother's still the auditor?
I'm sorry?
Your brother's still the auditor?
No, sir, he never was. I don't have a brother.
I understand that the paying customers are down right now, the indigent.
Well, we do have, and we are down a little bit, it's because of indigent cases that basically declared by the judge, and so they, they pay no fees or anything like that.
State funding covers that, so the city's not out of it.
No, sir, we're not.
Any questions from the council? Any from the audience? Everybody got their number coming up? We have a motion, second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Item number 11, resolution 5608-17, to amend resolution 5526-17. Mr. Corley.
This resolution amends resolution number 5526-17 adopted by the City Council on January 17, 2017, which authorized Birmingham Water Works to install fire hydrants in Lake Wilbur Phase 2 subdivision. The locations of the fire hydrants were to be amended as set forth in this new resolution.
Mr. President, I move for approval of resolution 560817.
Second. We have a motion, second. Captain Lowe, it's my understanding that the addition of the street and the subdivision caused the need to recalculate hydrant placements.
Yes, so the configuration of the neighborhood changed, so the configuration of the fire hydrants changed, so basically the lateral change from the original.
Making sure everybody else knew as well. Any questions from the council? Any from the audience? All in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Item 12, resolution 5609-17, Mr. Corley.
This resolution authorizes the mayor to execute a memorandum of agreement with the Shelby County Commission regarding school security funding assistance.
Mr. President, I move for approval of resolution 560917.
Second. A motion and a second. Dr. Lopez, how much funds are expected with this?
28,500.
28,000.
Yeah, okay.
And it will be spent on Shelby County schools and Hoover school system.
Well, in essence, yes. We've got 4 schools in Shelby County.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions?
Mr. President, Chief, there's a reason why Shelby County Commission yield this type of fund versus Jefferson County, or is it something they set up themselves?
Well, I think that there's a lot of small cities in Shelby County. I think they're just trying to help to make sure that they can help fund police officers in schools in some of the smaller districts.
Are there any required matching funds?
No.
Any other questions? Any questions or comments from the audience? Hearing and seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Item 13 is a public hearing for the abatement of public nuisance due to weeds and/or grass. We Resolution 5610-17, Mr. Corley.
This resolution declares the weeds and indoor grass on the property located at 1536 Holly Road and 2336 Regent Lane is a public nuisance in order to the abatement of such weeds and indoor grass as provided under sections 11-67-60 through 11-67-67 of the Code of Alabama. The abundance of overgrown grass and or weeds on subject properties is injurious to the general public health. Subject properties were declared to be a public nuisance by this city council through resolution number 5598-17, passed by the council on June 19, 2017. The city council scheduled a public hearing for Monday, July 17, 2017, at 6:00 p.m. to consider evidence, objections, and protests regarding the removal of the weeds on the subject property and provided the required notice of such public hearing.
Prior to any motion, is there anyone here to speak to any of these addresses? Yes, ma'am. If you please come up and give us your name and address.
I'm Beverly Tyler, and I have the house at 1536 Solid Road.
If you could speak a little closer to the mic.
Oh, okay, and I have been over there taking care of the weeds and grass and everything, and I shot a picture, if y'all want to see.
We have a picture from this morning.
Well, no, this is from 328 this afternoon.
Oh, okay.
I've been over, so you can see that I've cleared, you know,
So is this a neighbor's property?
well, no.
It's your
it's a-
property?
It was a rental house that, I also got some people who want to look at it to buy, and so I'm very eager
Okay.
to get this taken care of myself.
You own the property?
Yes.
Mr. Mack, would please take a moment and look at it unless you already have.
You saw it earlier.
Would you please come up and explain your wishes?
Yes, sir. We have two properties that are up for abatement. I did go by this morning to 1536 Holly Road, and those are the photos you have there. There were some, I've spoken with Ms. Taylor, and she did say she was going to be working on it, and there have been improvements on the front yard. The second picture does show the backyard, which we have some concerns. I spoke with Ms. Taylor, just prior to the meeting starting, and she said she had some health issues, and she has been working, so she would like to see if there's a possibility of some, perhaps some more time on that. Tonight, it is a violation, but she did ask if before the city spent money on it, if she could have some more time on that. So,
I have no objection to setting a time limit.
You think 30 days would be enough, or is that too
More
much?
than enough,
More than enough?
yes.
Uh,
I'm sure.
I'm open to the thoughts of the council. Guess we can take a motion at this point.
Mr. President, I would, and if I may clarify, so we're taking a motion. Is this motion for all the nuisances we're going to consider tonight?
no, sir, we have two for
I'm
abatement.
sorry, this is the abatement.
Yes, sir, two for abatement. The one on Regent Lane, I would go ahead and recommend, I did speak to Mr. Smith, at this point in time, it is in violation. I don't know if
The property owner did contact me today. I've known this gentleman for a while. He's in the process of foreclosure, and I advise him to get a lawnmower. But,
yes, sir, it could be taken care of, an hour really, so on that one. It is in violation as of today, and, Holly Road's in violation as of today, but if we have an opportunity, I would actually recommend maybe the next hearing y'all have. The first hearing, it's a little shorter time. If we can see a substantial amount of improvement in the rear yard, is what I'm really concerned with on that. I wouldn't be opposed to that if legally that's okay on an abatement process. But
So we can adjust the vote accordingly if that's the wish of the council.
So I'm going to move for approval of resolution 561017. I guess with the understanding that 1536 Holly Road would be continued to the next regular schedule.
It's actually going to give you a couple of weeks.
I appreciate that.
All right. Thank you for being here. It's a first. right, we have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any additional comments from the council? Questions? Any from the audience? Seeing and hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Item 14, Resolution 5611-17. Mr. Corley.
This resolution declares the following properties located in the city of Hoover, following addresses, as nuisances due to weeds and or high grass thereon, in order to the abatement thereof by the city of Hoover, as provided under Alabama law. 3442 Flintshire Drive, 3400 Lock Ridge Drive, 3537 William and Mary Road, 4929 Paradise Lake Circle, and 4925 Paradise Lake Circle.
Mr. President, I'll move for approval of resolution 5611-17.
Second.
We have a motion, second. Any questions, comments from the council? One thing that I would like to say for the citizens, the property maintenance ordinance, as it currently sits, is a complaint-based ordinance. The city has to receive a complaint from a citizen. As it currently sits, a city employee cannot ride by, make a note, and initiate it within the city at this time. But these are complaint generators, so if you see anything that needs to be addressed, please notify building inspections, and they can get on top of it. Any other questions, comments? Any from the audience? Mr. Smith? Yes,
So I was just gonna let you know, get it into the record, 3537 William and Mary Road was cut before the meeting, so it can be removed. That leaves 4 of the 5 that are still in need, so.
Has William and Mary been individual?
No, sir, it was a new one. In the long past, it's been on the docket before, it's been a long time, so. But it has been, that's my satisfaction.
Why did you want?
You're looking for an amended motion? I'd amend my motion to remove the William and Mary address.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any other comments, questions from the council? Any from the audience? Seeing and hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Item 15, Resolution 5612-17. Mr. Corbin.
This resolution assents to the vacation of a right-of-way along Cloudland Drive as requested by owner Randy Wolf, as described in the resolution, and as depicted on the map attached to the resolution. This vacation was approved by PZ case number S-0617-22.
Open for a motion.
Yes, Mr. President, I move to approve resolution number 5612-17.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Rod, would this be your conversation?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, Cloudland Drive has a resurvey before the Planning and Zoning Commission. There was an adjustment on the creation of one lot and two, and there was a requested adjustment to swap some property that was presently private property where our road and sidewalk was contained. We also had a piece of property with a acre right-of-way, 8-foot wide, that the applicant suggested swap the property with a 10-foot strip of 8-foot right-of-way for the corner that we put our road and sidewalk.
Got a map showing, getting real close to showing. Any questions from the council? Houses right there.
That's correct. The new lot was created with the new plat, where the cursor is located, and the right-of-way in question is running in between this home and this home on Lester.
So we could build a lot.
Yes, it's all right. It's like lots. It'll have a driveway to utilize that acre lot.
How do you deal with the issue of, front of a house cannot face the back of a house?
It's got a side right-of-way in place.
Very good. questions from the council? From the audience? Hearing, seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Item 17, resolution 5614-17, Mr. Corley. 16, yeah, I circled 1 too early. 5613-17, Mr. Corley.
This resolution assents to the vacation of an easement on lots 1 and 2, Mill Run Estates First Edition, 800 Mill Run Lane, as requested by the property owners Edmund and Barbara Randall. This vacation was approved by Z case number S-0717-33.
Mr. President, I move to approve resolution number 5613-17.
Second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Mr. Long?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, this is a property owner, Mr. Randall. He's the owner of both parcels. He's requesting to adjust his property line a little bit. There was a unused utility easement that he's going to vacate to take away the issues of having to work around unneeded easements.
Any questions, comments from the council? Any from the audience? Seeing and hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Thank you. Item 18 is the first reading of ordinance 17-20. Yep. Resolution 5614-17. Mr. Corley.
This resolution authorizes the mayor to execute an add-on quote to Superion, formerly SunGuard Public Sector, Inc., application service provider agreement regarding program modifications related to recent interest rate calculation changes adopted by the state legislature for business license and sales tax regulations.
President, I move for approval of resolution 5614-17.
Second.
Motion is second, Dr. Lopez. This was in combination with the budget amendment from earlier.
That's correct.
Any questions from the council? Comment? Any from the audience? One thing I would like to say is the state, when they passed this statute, requested that all cities be compliant by August 1st, correct, Mr. Corley?
Correct.
The only way that we can do that is to ask for a suspension of the rules and vote accordingly this evening. So any conversation?
Be on the ordinance and not this resolution on that side.
I'm
It's
sorry,
related.
I keep looking. All right, all in favor of resolution 5614-17, vote aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Now we will get to item 18, the first reading of ordinance 172346, Mr. Corley.
This ordinance amends the Hoover Municipal Code, chapters 8 and 14 concerning interest and taxation to comply with Alabama Act number 2017-215. The second reading and consideration for adoption will be on Monday, August 7th, 2017.
And as I stated before, the state legislature requested that all cities be in compliance within 90 days within August 1st. The only way for us to do that is to suspend the rules and vote accordingly this evening. So I'm open for either a motion or discussion.
Mr. President, I move for the suspension of rules for immediate consideration.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
Mr. White?
Aye.
Dr. Middlebrooks?
Aye.
Mr. Murphy?
Aye.
Mr. Posey?
Aye.
Mr. Shaw?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye. We have now suspended the rules and can bring ordinance 17-2346 up for immediate consideration. Any comments or questions from the council? Any from the audience? Seeing and hearing none, Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
I'll make a motion, Mr. President, if I may, for the adoption of ordinance 17-2346.
Second.
That would certainly help. Madam Clerk?
Mr. White?
Aye.
Dr. Middlebrooks?
Aye.
Mr. Murphy?
Aye.
Mr. Posey?
Aye.
Mr. Shaw?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye. I'm gonna quit circling things. Item 19, motion to approve ABC application retail table wine, off premises only for Hospitality Retail Systems, Inc., doing business as South Hoover, Amico, Sunoco, 1634 Montgomery Highway. This is a new application for a previously approved site.
Mr. President, I move to approve the application for Hospitality Retail Systems Incorporated.
Second. Motion and second. Mr. Corley, do you have anything to add?
No, sir.
Any comments or questions from the audience? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Item 20 is motion to approve ABC application, retail beer on or off premises, retail table wine on or off premises for Antico LLC, doing business as Vitia Pizzeria and Marcado. Did I do that right, Mayor? Sorry? Vecchia, okay. Vecchia. I'm from Alabama.
Mr. President, I move to approve the ABC application for Antico LLC.
Second.